Do you know your rights when it comes to everyday social interactions, beyond the legal aspect and in addition to what we've come to know as fundamental human rights? Did you know that asserting these rights in your daily communication with others is yet another way to ensure physical and psychological well-being? Hi, and welcome to 15 Assertive Rights and Principles Explained. I am Lucia Grosaru, and I am the author of the Psychology Corner blog. In the following lectures, I will explain 15 rights that we have in social contexts, such as general communication, professional collaborations, and romantic relationships. These rights, once understood and asserted, will boost your self-esteem and confidence, will allow you to build better relationships, and to pursue your goals with the full activation of your resources. I will also provide recommendations or tips to better implement each right in your daily life. If you are curious to find out more about how you can achieve cognitive, emotional, and social independence and well-being, join me in the next lecture. Assertiveness is considered the most efficient style of communication and behavior. It allows us to regulate our thoughts and emotions better and to build and maintain healthier relationships. It generates the mindset and social environment that facilitate the achievement of our personal and professional goals. The many advantages of assertiveness make it one of the most sought-after skills that individuals want to develop in order to optimize their lifestyle. It's a path toward independence of thought, authenticity, and a harmonious social environment. Assertiveness basically refers to the complex ability to think, emotionally react, and act in a way that is non-passive and non-aggressive. A primarily assertive person is able to openly express their opinions, feelings, needs, and desires in a way that is respectful of their own rights and the rights of others. Assertiveness is a multidimensional concept that comprises cognitive, emotional, and behavioral elements. One of the first steps in the process of activating assertiveness as your primary style of communication and behavior, one that has the potential to shape both your thoughts and attitude toward yourself and others, is to know these rights that you're supposed to claim and respect. If you're familiar with personal development materials, then you may have come across different lists of such rights, and you may have observed similarities and differences. Some lists may comprise 10 items, others may have 7 or less. This happens because there is no definite list when it comes to assertive rights. They are all subjective clusters of statements. But what makes them valid in the personal development environment is that they stem from the basic principles of assertiveness: finding your way toward your legitimate freedom, authenticity, and well-being, and at the same time displaying respect and causing no harm to other beings or the environment. Also, you will easily notice the similarities between basic human rights and the assertive rights that we consider in contexts of communication and social interactions. These lists express in terms of liberties the main assertive principles, so that we will have a better framework in which we can assess and regulate our inner and social dynamic. This being said, here is my list of 15 assertive rights and principles that I mainly consider in communication and social settings. Although I will use numbers to organize the list, there is no particular order or hierarchy between these statements. One, you are entitled to your own beliefs, values, and the associated emotions. Your beliefs, values, and emotions concern you and you alone. They are nobody else's business. Even if they are not popular or validated by others, you are free to entertain them without having to offer justifications for why you believe the things you believe, why you assign meaning to some values and life principles and not to others, or why you feel the way you feel in any given situation. Here are several recommendations on how to implement this right in your lifestyle. Choose your beliefs based on how they resonate with your internal structure, with your values, principles, goals, and purpose, and not by how popular they are with other people. Check your list of beliefs and values and try to determine whether they are socially inherited from your environment. If so, check them against your own values, desires, and goals. If they match, keep them. If not, discard them with no remorse or guilt. Allow yourself to experience any emotions without feeling that they have to be validated by other people. You have the right to react in your own way to a situation, even if others might have reacted differently. 2. You have the right to act in accordance with your beliefs, values, and associated emotions, as long as you do not deliberately seek to hurt others. You have the right to practice your beliefs, regardless of their meaning to others. The only exception is when the practice of your beliefs would imply causing harm or direct discomfort to other people. The same goes for value prioritization and expression of emotions. Practice your beliefs even if others criticize them. They only need to make sense to you, not to your family, friends, spouse, or neighbors. As long as they are not directly affected in a negative way by those practices, you do not need validation or approval from them to proceed. Negative impact usually means emotional or physical abuse. Other levels of discomfort should be discussed and options should be considered in relation to individual and common goals and interests. If no compromise can be achieved, this analysis is also a way to decide whether to keep the belief and its specific practice, or the relationship with the person bothered by it. 3. You have the right to assess your own thoughts, values, emotions, and behaviors, and take upon yourself the full responsibility for their expression and consequences. As per assertive principles, you can make any choice for yourself, bad ones included, with the mention that you should take full responsibility for it. Your actions may have even more serious consequences than your words, so consider the outcomes more carefully. Always try to understand where your actions may lead, how they may affect yourself, others, and the society you live in. When making a choice that favors a certain behavior, you should be ready to face any of its direct consequences. 4. You have the right to decide upon your implication in actions that benefit others. You can help others, but you do not have to. Simply because you have the means or resources to help another person, you are under no obligation to do so. It may sound selfish, but this right actually ensures that you do not deplete your own resources by simply feeling obligated to share them with others all the time. If you want to help, even if that means giving away all your resources, that is totally fine. But it's a choice you make, not a responsibility or obligation to act in that sense. Carefully analyze each request to share your resources, from time to money to expertise and others, and decide if it is important for you to take part in that common action and help the other person. Do it if it makes sense to you, not because the other one expects you to or because you fear being considered a bad person. 5. You have the right to offer no justification or apology for your actions. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, without explaining your reasons to others. Also, do not apologize simply because the other one expects you to apologize, or because they try to make you feel guilty. Only offer your apologies if you are internally motivated to do so. Do not apologize for who you are, for what you want to achieve, your likes or dislikes, or for your actions that did not cause any harm to others. Do not apologize often either for insignificant things. You will likely be perceived as a passive individual. 6. You have the right to make mistakes and take responsibility for them. You don't have to be perfect. We all make mistakes of all kinds, and we have the right to do so. At the same time, we have to take responsibility for them. Do not expect to be any different, and do not allow others to make you feel guilty for things that are a normal part of a person's life. We are not perfect, and that is okay. For most of our mistakes, we have the chance to make them right. However, we also get to decide whether to take that opportunity or not. Consider mistakes an opportunity to learn and improve. They are not failures, but stages of learning. If your actions caused unintended harm to another person, consider your options to help make the situation better. In some contexts, it might be preferable for you to first make your availability and intentions known to the person and proceed only if they agree for you to be part of the process. In personal contexts, where there is no clear right or wrong value to be assigned to certain interactions, you may want to eliminate the label of mistake altogether and simply consider the outcome a less than desirable result. This is the type of result that, most of the times, can be modified and improved. 7. You have the right to be irrational and make decisions based on irrational reasoning. There are plenty of errors that affect our reasoning at all times. We may attempt to control some of them and may even be successful in diminishing their occurrence in a significant way. Yet we are still to find out whether error-free human thinking is a possibility. Until then, we have the right to entertain irrational thoughts, regardless of how they may seem to others. Learn to identify and diminish the occurrence of the main cognitive distortions and biases. Optimize your critical thinking skills to lower the chances of irrational thoughts and beliefs being formed. 8. You have the right to disagree with others. You are entitled to different opinions. It is okay to have opinions that are different from those of others. Different does not imply worse or better. Some opinions may be proven as incorrect, but we still have the right to hold and express them. Try to mainly entertain and express informed opinions, meaning that it is preferable to have knowledge on a subject before conveying a message or conclusion about it. If your opinion is proven as valid in a context, do not let it make you see yourself as better than those who hold a different one. Also, if your opinion is proved to be the wrong one in a context, do not feel inferior to those whose views were valid at that time. Opinions are to be shared and used to grow individually and socially. They are not hierarchical markers. Keep in mind that opinions tend to be different from facts. They might be based on facts, but at core, they are subjective messages. 9. You have the right to be respected as an individual. You do not have to do anything special to gain someone else's respect for you as a human being. You already have this right and should receive the proper social treatment in accordance with it. Aggressive individuals tend to try to make others believe that they are not worthy of consideration and respect from other people, thus creating a context where they can control that person. Do not let yourself be intimidated. Identify toxic interactions and protect your self-esteem, self-confidence, and feeling of self-worth. 10. You have the right to display your skills and benefit from the results of your work. Do what you like, what you are good at, and enjoy the incentives, material or subjective, that stem from your activity. Don't let others interfere with your activities or hijack the benefits that you are entitled to as a result of those activities. Follow your interests, even if you are your only supporter in that context. Don't let other people tell you what you should do or should not do in situations that only affect you. 11. You have the right to say no to the requests of others. No justification, no guilt. You can refuse any type of request, reasonable or not, without having to provide explanations, and without feeling guilty for having said no. You do not need a good reason to decline an invitation or to refuse to help your coworker respect their deadline. If it is not something that you are willing to do, at that time or at all, say it without being aggressive and live the life that you want to live. Practice makes perfect when it comes to saying no as well. There might be times when your message is going to be dismissed by others. They may try to turn your no into a yes. Repeat your message until the other one acknowledges it. They do not have to agree, just to acknowledge the message. 12. You have the right to formulate your own goals and choose your own priorities. You do not need anyone else's approval to live your life the way you want to. Set up your own goals and pursue them. Once again, they should not infringe on the rights of others, including their right to pursue their own goals. Make sure that your goals are indeed your goals and that they are not imposed by your environment, such as family, friends, or social norms. Also, keep in mind that you can modify your goals and priorities at any point in your life. 13. You have the right to change your mind, your opinions, and your beliefs. Changing your mind is a sign of mental flexibility, not instability. New data, such as that we get from new experiences or through learning, may trigger changes in your mindset, your beliefs, goals, or preferences. These are all normal occurrences in one's life, and they are often an indicator of personal growth. Instability is linked to high frequency and criteria randomness when it comes to making those changes. Constantly update your knowledge base on a variety of subjects and reassess your beliefs, opinions, and goals based on the new data. Do not allow others to make you feel that you are unreliable or guilty of betrayal simply because you have exercised the right to change your views on a subject. 14. You have the right to say I do not know and I do not understand. Not knowing is not something to be ashamed of. One should not expect absolute knowledge on a subject from anyone, themselves included. The same goes for not being able to grasp the meaning, partially or fully, in a certain context of communication. It is okay to say that you do not have knowledge on a topic or that you haven't reached a conclusion on a certain matter. It is also okay to ask for additional information when trying to understand or gain knowledge on a subject. Do not be intimidated if you are the only one who says I don't know or I do not understand in a social situation. We each have our own pace to react and learn, and we also entertain different interests and goals. Change your competition-oriented mentality into a growth-oriented mindset. Stop seeing winners and losers and seek growth opportunities instead. 15. You have the right to be independent. You are the master and architect of your own life. Others should not influence your life to the point where you no longer have control over your own life journey. Exercise making decisions for yourself. It is a habit as much as it is a right. This concludes the course on Assertive Rights and Principles. I hope the information helps you design the life you want for yourself in a more authentic, independent way. Please consider the 15 assertive rights and principles that we addressed in this course, and list those that you find difficult to assert in your everyday life. Make a plan on how you can better defend those rights in a non-passive, non-aggressive way. Now that you know what your assertive rights are and what they mean, you have made the first steps toward becoming more assertive in your social interactions. There are plenty of ways to continue your personal development journey from here. Feel free to check out my other courses. You can also visit my website, psychologycorner.com, and discover even more personal development resources. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.